Zaldrizes buzdaris gosdau.
Aside from all the battles, right, and then the leaked image of Melee's head, and then all the burned bodies, potentially AEGON, all that stuff, the craziest, in my opinion, one of the craziest leaks that's come out of House of the Dragon Season 2 during the filming process has been this little old thing that's being called the Wall, right? In this video, I want to focus just on that. It's not going to be very long. I just want to put all the evidence we have forth of what it could be and then what happens in the books in reference to that. Alright, so before I jump into any of that, please do me a massive favor. It's the best thing you could ever do for my channel if you're a fan of me. Subscribe. Please subscribe to me here on YouTube. And then also, if you're feeling so inclined after you've watched this video, please slap a like on it. Like goal is going to be 420. Get it? Okay, so aside from this image of the wall, right, we're just calling it that. It could be Winterfell's parapets. That was built in leaves. And aside from that, we've also had recently a snowy wood set being built. And the latest development is that it now has several blue screens that, in my opinion, look like the entrance to a freaking castle, right? But let's backtrack a bit. We have this image of these Night's Watch individuals, right? Okay, so look, to be fair, a large number of them are wearing dark cloaks. They're wearing mostly black, right? So I could 100% see this being Night's Watchman. Although I will be the first to call myself out if I'm wrong. Let me rephrase that. I could see how some people are saying that these are the Night's Watch. They look like brothers in black, right? And I don't think that they are, because in canon, Jacaerys doesn't go to the Wall. Jacaerys goes to Sisterton, White Harbor, the Eyrie, and then Winterfell, right? Two of those places we've never seen. We've seen the Eyrie, we've seen Winterfell, but we've never seen White Harbor or Sisterton. Sisterton's not as important per se, right? But White Harbor's like the entrance to the north from the Mander, right? We've seen Manderleys, right, on the TV show. Nowhere near as big of a presence that they have in the A Song of Ice and Fire novels, but White Harbor was even referenced by Daenerys with Jon Snow. When Daenerys was coming into the north, Jon was like, you shouldn't fly your dragon. The north doesn't need to see you like that. You should walk. We should come in from White Harbor, right? So what's really cool about White Harbor is that initially this was this location called the Wolf's Den, and it was like right on the mouth of the Mander, and it's a direct entrance into the heart of the north. House Stark had a problem defending that area until eventually House Manderley was kicked out from the Reach down south. They came up north, paid the Starks a bunch of silver and gold, and they were set up in the Wolf's Den, right? They built the city of White Harbor on the mouth of the Mander to defend the north, the heart of the north, right? So it'd be really cool, in my opinion, as a super book nerd, right, to see White Harbor in all of its glory on screen, because that's where Jace goes in canon, right? But getting back on track here, the entrances to the castle, right, the new green screens, it's kind of small, and also there should be water around it, right? So I don't think it's White Harbor. I think what's actually happening here is they may have switched, potentially, one of the locations that Jacaerys goes to. Remember, he goes to his Sisterton, the Eyrie, White Harbor, and Winterfell. They could have switched out Sisterton or the Eyrie. He's going to go to Winterfell for sure, but they could have switched out one of the other locations. Oh, as a matter of fact, you know what? I know they didn't switch out the Eyrie because Lady Jane Eyre was cast, right? So they could have switched out Sisterton or White Harbor for the Wall. Main reason being is because show-only fans, the average show watcher, they know what the Wall is. They won't be able to reference the point of White Harbor. They'll know it's in the north, but they know for a fact the Night's Watch, the Brothers in Black, and the iconic location of the Wall. That's where Jon Snow spent the entire arc of his character until he went down to Dragonstone, but eventually his arc left him, guess what? North, back to the Wall. So they may have switched out one of those locations that Jacaerys went to for that familiar location of like, oh, they're going to start playing. They'll probably play like Jon Snow's theme when he was at the Wall, the House Stark theme, and then they'll go to Winterfell itself, right? So that could be what's going on right here. It would make sense that the Brothers in Black are, filming in a snowy wood. They probably will show some of the Rangers marching back to the castle, potentially. In my opinion, it's one of those two things. I'm leaning more heavily of it being White Harbor, the Night's Watchmen aren't Night's Watchmen. They're actually House Stark bannermen, and that scene is filmed for when they get to Winterfell. Like, you got to realize that at the start of the Dance of Dragons, the reason why Cregan is so late is because of an impending winter, right? He has to prep everybody around Winterfell. All of his loyal vassals, all the houses near him, they have to prepare for what they think is going to be a long winter. That's specifically mentioned in Fire and Blood. So if that's the case, of course the long winter doesn't just pop up overnight. It starts by having snowfall in autumn. So it's fall time up north. This area around Winterfell is going to be covered in snow. It's iconic, super like amazing for them to spend at least an episode or two in Winterfell. And of course, Lords of Winterfell often have brothers of the Night's Watch come down south. So there could be, there's individuals with lighter cloaks that look light brown, and maybe that's the reason why they aren't dressed so heavily, is because it's fall and winter hasn't really kicked off yet, right? So that's what I think is happening in this scene. Either Winterfell, or the Wall, or potentially a new location we haven't seen yet, White Harbor. Okay, so real quick, I just want to explain what happens in canon with Cregan in the north. So Cregan actually is pretty young, right? And because of this, his uncle Bernard is ruling Winterfell after his father dies, right? So his father's the dude we saw in episode 1 of House of the Dragon that came to King's Landing and was like, I swear towards Rhaenyra, right? Remember when all those people swore an oath towards Rhaenyra, right? That was Cregan's dad. Now, normally, House Stark, for about 100 years or so after Aegon's conquest, were aloof in the north. They stayed out of southern politics. They stayed out of the royal court. They didn't want anything to do with it, right? It wasn't until King Viserys died that when Jacaerys goes north that this House Stark becomes involved, right? So a little bit of the back history that happens before Jacaerys arrives is, like I just mentioned, Cregan was so young, his uncle Bernard was the one who was running all of Winterfell. He didn't want to relinquish the title of regent, right, or ruling in Cregan's stead. So Cregan had to basically imprison him and his 2 sons, and then he's ruling in Winterfell. Some tragedy strikes Cregan. Literally really close to when the dance jumps off. Cregan marries this Nori woman, has a child with her, and in the process, Cregan's first wife dies, right? So Cregan has an heir, a son, Rickon, right? But his wife died. So Cregan's not going to be in the best mental head state wise to go and join someone. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals, if they keep that in canon, how Cregan deals with that conflict of being so young, having that tragedy strike him after having to wrestle the North from his uncle Bernard, and then also Rhaenyra's war. Right? King Viserys died. He's got to stay loyal to an oath that his father pledged, right? After having all of these things happen to him. So what ends up happening in canon is once Jacaerys gets there, the 2 of them train, right? They train in the yard. They go hunting. They go fishing. They grow really close, right? They swear an oath of brotherhood. And then eventually Cregan finds out that Jacaerys has been sleeping with his bastard half-sister, Sarah Snow. He either forces them to get married or they get married, and that's the only time Cregan relents from being so harsh towards Jacaerys, is after he finds out that Cregan did the right thing and married his sister. Right? So after that happens, there's this event known as the Pact of Ice and Fire, in which literally Jacaerys swears that his unborn, his first daughter, who he doesn't have any kids yet, but his first daughter will marry Cregan's heir. Right? So Cregan's heir Rickon will marry Jacaerys' fictional unborn daughter when he has one. And that's the Pact of Ice and Fire right there. So the Starks literally marry into the royal bloodline through Jacaerys. Problem is Jacaerys dies in the Battle of Gullet, right? But Cregan still upholds his pledge and comes down south, and we all know what happens during the Hour of the Wolf. Real quick, I was sent rumors several months ago that mentioned Jacaerys' relationship with Cregan is going to be taken a step further for the show. This person mentioned that Cregan would be in a gay relationship with Jacaerys, and that oath of brotherhood is actually them sort of falling in love. Now, obviously, there's 2 sides of that. There's probably a large chunk of the viewing audience that's like, don't change a character's orientation or whatever for the TV show just to try to appeal to a wider audience, when there's actual LGBTQ characters in the story that you can include and maybe give them a bigger role. You don't have to change, someone else to try to appeal to more people, right? There's one chunk of the audience that feels that way. and they wouldn't necessarily like the change because of it. And then there's another chunk of the audience that really just doesn't care. They just want a good story, and that's kind of where I fall at, right? Like, changing Jacaerys or Cregan's sexuality wouldn't really change the story that much. If they wanted to try to appeal to a wider audience, I'm all for it if you do it the right way. Don't pander to the point where you're just like, oh, we've got all these gay characters on screen just to be like, give us awards, give us awards. Like, it's not going to work out that way. You have to tell, at the bottom line, the only thing that should matter is you're telling a good story, right? You're staying as faithful as possible to the adaptation. You're telling a good story. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I've already mentioned that a few times. Thank you for watching. Big special shout out to every single member of my Patreon family over on patreon.com/YourHuntsReviews. A super special shout out to the members of my Dragonite tier. They were the executive producers of this video. They are Tyler Schnabel, the Northwestern member, Breanne Johnston, Destiny Mix Queen Phillips 420, and Pebbles 83. Thank you all so much for watching, and please slap a like on this video and subscribe. And also, this news came in while I was literally making this video. It's from Randanian Intelligence. Most of these leaks are. I always shot them out. Really, the source is Sarah Talib, right? But I saw it posted on their Twitter account. So they said that a scene is being described by a local as Sir Criston Cole on his knees next to someone who is injured or dead. Right? And there was these images. There's actually several videos that went along with it, but I'm showing you these images. Obviously, what this is that individual is not dead. That was Tom Glencorny, and this is when Aegon landed, when the king landed. Remember, reference to the City Kings. That's a joke, but yeah, that's what's happening here. There's probably going to be more leaked images coming out later today, and I'll probably put those in a video later this week. Thank you for watching.